Alright, today we're going to talk about objects and we're also going to talk a little bit about layers. Layers is just like in Photoshop. Over on the right hand side under your pages palette, you've got a layers palette. It works just the same as Photoshop. Layers come in handy when you're doing things you may want to do multiple designs on one page to see what works well. Okay, so you can actually have one design in one layer, another design in another layer, and just keep it going. Just know that layers work just like Photoshop. Okay, you're used to Photoshop. You're used to layers in Illustrator. Layers in here is the same thing. Shouldn't be confusing at all. You only have a couple options though. It's either a new layer or delete a layer. New layer, delete a layer. You can duplicate a layer, hide the layers, lock the layers. Again, eyeball is the same. You can hide and open them. Any questions on layers? I just want you to know it's there. I'm not going to go into detail on it because, hey, you did that in Photoshop. You did that in Illustrator. You know how to use layers. That's what they're there for. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to go over to your rectangle tool and draw a box. Okay. Up at the top, remember you've got your fills. I want you to fill it with black. So now you should have a black box on your screen. Okay, get a black box on your screen. What we're going to talk about today is our object layer, or our object menu. So the object menu, if you click on it, gives you a lot of different options that you can do to an object. You can transform the object. Under transform, you have move, scale, rotate, shear. Simple rotates like rotate 90 degrees clockwise and counterclockwise. That's what CW, it's not the CW TV show or channel. It's clockwise, counterclockwise, rotate it 180 degrees, flip it horizontal, flip it vertical, and then clear your transformations. So if we click on move, it will come up with a little dialog box. Say you know you want it right 2 inches. So you just type in 2 inches and click on your preview and you can see it. Try putting in -2. I didn't mean to hit enter, but that's okay. 0, and it will preview it for you. Okay, you can change the angle of it here. Well, not this one. All right, so that's how move works. Under object, let's go to transform and scale. You get a dialog box that comes up with a percentage. I want it 125% of the size I've got it now. I click preview and it will show me. If I want to go 50%, 200%. Once you're done playing with scale, hit cancel. It'll take it back to its original size. Rotate. It'll come up with an angle. I want a 45-degree angle. Hit my preview, and it rotates it at 45 degrees. I just want it 4 degrees. I want it 200 degrees. I want it 0 degrees. Under transform, shear. The shear angle, you can shear it. That's 50 degrees shear. Here's 20, and that's sheared horizontal. Instead, I shear it vertical. So you can see I can come up with some pretty interesting little shapes. Small shear, give it a 3-dimensional look, maybe a 10 shear, and then add some more stuff to it. So horizontal, vertical, and that's what shear does. Object transform, rotate 90 degrees clockwise. Okay, let me get a different shape for this so that it'll be easier to see. I'm just going to take my open arrow tool and I'm going to turn this into a little triangle. As soon as I can click that stupid, there we go. So that you can see it. All right. So again, object transform, rotate 90 degrees clockwise, turns it that way. If I rotate it 90 degrees counterclockwise, it takes it back. So remember, clockwise turns it this way, toward the right, counterclockwise turns it left. All right, transform, flip horizontal. We'll flip it on the horizontal axis. So let's say I've got this, I want it the exact same, but I want it on the other side. Maybe I'm making a little picture frame. Okay, a little picture, you know those old-timey picture frames with the squares around the photo? So I copy and paste it, but it's the wrong direction. So I can transform, flip horizontal. Now I've got my corners there. Well, wait. I've got these, but they're wrong. Transform, flip vertical. And now I have my little stuff done. Now let's say that I've got a square in the middle that I've put a shear on. Object, transform, clear transformations, turns it back into my original square. Okay? Any question on the transform menu? Okay. So next we have transform again. So let's say that I scale this, or no, yeah, no, rotate. Rotate's more fun. Let's say if I rotate it 5 degrees. I go up under object, transform again, and click transform again. It transforms it another 5 degrees. Transform again, transforms it another. Okay? So transform again individually does the same thing, but if you have a lot of things selected, it'll transform each object individually. Transform again, so transform sequence again does the same thing. Okay? If you had a sequence of transforms in there, it would transform that entire sequence again. All right. Everybody should remember the arrange, bring to front, send to back from, what's that other program called? Illustrator. Okay, I've got a red and blue square. Object, arrange, send backward. Now let's make 3 squares so that this will be more obvious. Let's make a black square too. So I've got a red, blue, and black square. Black, I want to send backwards. Okay, so I'm going to bring it up here so that you can see what happens. Object, arrange, send backwards. Notice it just dropped it in behind the blue. If I went object, arrange, send to back, it drops it all the way in behind the red too. Now if I take that object, arrange, and bring forward, keep bringing it forward till it does something. Oh, wait, let me get rid of all these other squares so that it doesn't confuse it. All right, now object, arrange, bring forward, it drops it in front of the red. Bring to front, if it's all the way in the back. Bring to front, brings it all the way to the front. Okay? Now, this is something I recommend you learn. So write this down if you need to. You shouldn't have to because it's right there. Look at these key commands for arrange. Under your transform or under object arrange, look at those key commands. Shift, command, or if you're on a PC, it's control, bracket. The different brackets do different things. Now watch without me using the menu. I want to send it back. Shift, command, send it back. The blue is now in the back. I want to bring it forward. Command, bracket. I want to bring it to the front. Shift, command, bracket. Okay? Boom, 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 boom. Learn those key commands because, learn those key commands. Very important. What? Yes, if you want it, but you can easily find it under the object arrange. All right, let's look at the next one. Select. Select first object above. Automatically selects the black. Let's try that by clicking the red. Select first object above. Selects the black. Why? Because black is on top. If you have a ton of layers and they're so close it's hard to click on it, I can click on the back one, or the black one, sorry. Select next object below, and it will select the blue. Very important. Okay, and there's key commands for it as well. If I click on the back and I want to get that red, but it's really hard to get to, object, select, last object below. It will grab the object on the bottom. Okay? This is so you can make modifications to it. Next, object. You know how to group and ungroup. You know how to lock. We're going to talk about lock for a second because it's important. Say I want to do a lot of editing on this second, on the blue, but the black keeps getting in the way. Object, lock the black. Now, when I click there, I only click on the blue. I cannot select the black at all. To get back to the black, unlock all on spread, and black is unlocked. Next, under object, hide. I want to work on the blue, but I don't even want to see the black. So object, hide. And now I can work on the blue. To get it back, object, show all on spread. Okay? All right. That is how you work with objects. Now, would the same be said for text? Yes. Treat text as an object. Remember, in graphic design, text is not text. Text is a design element. You guys keep using text as text. You have got to get past that point. Text is part of your design just as much as your images are. Focus on images. In your mind, I want you to treat text as an image, one that you can manipulate to fit your design. It's very important that you do this. All right, we're not going to worry about HTML, but look at the next one, generate a QR code. Oh, wait, do you guys have that? Do you guys have generate a QR code? Okay, sorry, that's a new one. All right, let's see. Do you guys have an effects menu? Alright, effects is just like in Photoshop. If I want to click on my red one, object effects, I can go down to drop shadow and add a drop shadow to it. I get my nice little drop shadow dialog box. You've got under transparency at the top. Let's look at this for a second. So make sure you've got your effects dialog box open. Again, to do that, object, click on your object, object, effects, and then click on drop shadow. Now let's look at each one of these. Transparency. Transparency is just like the layer blending mode. Okay? Under modes, you've got multiply, screen, overlay. That will allow you to get some really cool things. You can change the opacity there. Say you want that red to be 50%. That's where you change it. Drop shadow. It looks a little different, but you enter your information in there. It does the exact same thing as Photoshop. Enter shadow, same thing, but it puts the shadow on the inside. If you click preview as you're going down through here and turning these on, you can see your effects. So make sure you have preview clicked. Outer glow. Again, that gives it an outer glow. Same as Photoshop. Inner glow, same thing. Bevel and emboss. Satin I never use because I don't really like it. Feather, what? It lays in, it overlays a kind of a dulling effect. I don't really like it. It won't do it on red. No. Alright, look at basic feather. This allows you to feather your edges. If you turn off all the others, turn off drop shadow, turn off everything, you'll see that it automatically feathers the edges, and you can change the corners to rounded, sharp, diffused, all of that stuff. It's really nice. A directional feather will allow you to just do it on one side, which is also really nice. And of course, last but definitely not least is our gradient feather, where you can control your gradient and put a feather on it that goes to nothing. Again, super duper nice stuff here. Just like in Photoshop. It's excellent, awesome, and cool. Our next one, you guys have corner options, right? Okay, corner options. This allows you to change the corner. You can do a fancy corner, a bevel corner, a rounded corner. Fancy corners are kind of neat. Make sure you click preview and you can see them. Look at that. I created a quickie little corner. I changed the corner to bevel. It looks like that. I can get a little stop sign. Inset. Hey, look. It's the red cross. Inverse rounded. That's kind of neat. Really easy to do. And then the last one is, of course, rounded. The numbers control how much of a round that you have on your corners. Okay? So that's a really great tool. Everything else we're not going to worry about because that gets into the more complex areas. Okay. What I want you to do today is I want you to create various objects and apply different shears, effects, rotation, corners on it. I want you to use every single one of those on one object. So, for example, I've got an object up here. I go up under Object, Transform. Don't worry about scale and rotate, but shear, throw a shear on it. Then the next one, you may want to go down, once you've selected the next one, and put a effect on it of some type. So use everything under the object menu to create all of the possible effects that you can do, and then play with sending forward, bringing back, everything like that. So that is what I want you to do the rest of the class period. Tomorrow you'll get an assignment using this stuff, but today is learning and playing.